Hey guys, welcome to another video. This video we're talking about how to prepare for interviews. If you haven't watched my other videos on how to get your first internship and how to have success with online applications, please check those out because they're really helpful. And you need to succeed in both of those before getting an interview. So let's get started. So there are 5 steps on how I was able to prepare for interviews and succeed. And these steps are more generalized for different majors and different internship opportunities because internships have a lot of similar questions that people struggle on. So let's get started. Step one, day to day tasks. Every application you apply for always has the day to day tasks the internship needs to do or the intern needs to do. It's really good to go through them so you could first see what is required from you. Two, you can find ways on how to take the daily tasks and see how have you done these in previous positions, previous opportunities, maybe part-time jobs, maybe a project, so that when you go to the interview, you're prepared when they ask why you're right fit for this role. You could talk about I saw that they had data entries daily and I'm really good at doing this from my last position. It's really helpful because it gives you one. The other bonus benefit to this is you can see if this is the right fit for you because you go, is this something I want to do daily? If you do, and you're able to do these and you've learned how to do these in some manner before, that's amazing. Let's move on. Step two, that is research company values. One of the main things that comes with this is people get really overwhelmed with a lot of company research and what to look for and a lot of things. These company websites have a lot of tabs, a lot of information, and a lot of going on. So the most important thing would be just look for, I would say, 3 more important things. The most important things on a website would be one is their vision, and that's the future. Where do they want to go? Two would be the mission. It's where they are right now, is the daily tasks. And step three would be their core values or the values they believe resonate with the most. The reason for these 3 things is because you want to know where their future is, you want to know what they're doing right now, and what are the key requirements that they look for someone who is a right fit. Because when you get a question, why do you want to work for this company? These 3 are valuable. I'd say priceless because you first look at all the values and you look at the ones you resonate with the most and the ones you have examples for that you can show. So an easy example would be if I was working for a company that's core value is integrity, I could say how I was working as a consulting intern where I did something that showed integrity and that's why I believe that I'm a right fit for them because this value resonated with me. Just like that, if you have if you take 2 or 3 values and you give them an example of why those values resonated with you, this allows you to show that you're the right fit for the position. Because everyone else is going to talk about self-centric, good pay, good benefits, good salary, and those are self centric. But you want to show that you are bigger than yourself. You're ready to be able to see what the company has to offer. That's immensely valuable. One of the other tips that I got from my sister was use these values and tie them up with questions. So if they talk about one, same with integrity, that could be, tell me about a time that you showed integrity. You could talk about the situation, talk about the task, the action, the result, and then at the end tie it back and you could say, I really value integrity. And in the words of, and you give the company, so in the words of, let's say Amazon, in the words of Amazon's website, it says that integrity is the most valuable. And this is why I resonated with that core value. And that's why I believe this company is the right fit for me. And or you could say this is the reason why I applied for this job. Just tying these values into the end of a question and end of you answering a question immensely valuable. That's helped my sister get multiple internships because she was able to tie it back into a full circle. The other reason is because the mission and vision allow you to see where your future is. You could talk about how you resonate with that vision, and that's why you want to join the company because you also have the vision. That shows that you are looking for the long-term future, not short-term. Those are very valuable. And also gives you a good edge of do you want to work for the company? Because I'm not ready to work for a company who doesn't have integrity, for example. Let's talk about the next one. Step three, and that's craft your unique 30-second pitch. I myself, when I came to college, I heard so many people say, tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself. And I go, okay. And then I start saying from the time I started college all the way. And that's a lot of information. One of the main important things is when they say, tell me about yourself, they don't want to know, tell me about yourself. They want to know what's your sales pitch. And I got that from Leila Hermosi because it was when I heard that, it opened my eyes to that's an amazing way to think about it. It's your sales pitch, is why you are the right fit for this job. That's why using her advice, I was able to really exponentiate my success with that question. That allowed me to get really good networking opportunities, get internship opportunities, talk to people who are ahead of the game than me. Because this is, I would say, out of the five most important steps, this is the most important. Because this allows you to use this everywhere. It's very versatile. The way to break down your unique 30-second pitch would be one, talk about the past. Talk about where you have been and what have you done there. Really good example would be if I was going to intern for a data science intern position, I would say I am I previously was a data science intern. And there I really learned how to better understand data, be able to have better storytelling abilities, and being able to drive key insights in how to better improve our staffing grid that helped accelerate growth, save time, and be able to have more centric, more data efficient, and data driven decision making. The next thing would be talk about what are your biggest strengths. That would be, it could be being able to critically think, problem solving, and tie all these strengths back into the end. Once you talk about it, talk about the right fit. So you go, my biggest strengths are critical thinking, problem solving, trying to make split second decisions. And that is why I applied for this position, because looking at the application and the requirements really showed that I might be a really good fit for this position. This really allows you to go away from the crowd because most people are going to talk about what they do now, what they talk about their past and their future. But if you can narrow this down to this process, the success rate was, oh my God, it was insane. I overnight started having better conversations. Really good. The fourth step would be mock interviews. The reason why I made this a step because I thought most times you just go for an interview and you go, let's start. But that's not the case. For everything, you need to prepare. And the way mock interviews I did was I would have someone just ask me questions. I would answer them. We would fix a little and then keep asking. So this allowed me to get ready into the process of answering questions. A bonus tip for someone who's just starting out with interviews or really needs a little time to form answers is prep for these mock interviews. Because just like you study for the SAT, it's not going to be helpful taking a mock SAT if you don't study because you don't know anything. But if you study for the mock SAT, just like the real SAT, and you take it, you can improve because you have feedback on what you didn't understand after studying. The same here. Make one person prep you. So they ask you a 30-second me, ask you, why do you want to work for this company? What's your biggest strengths? What are your biggest weaknesses? Those are the four most important questions, I would say. Those, or more, a little more behavioral questions too, to prep you. And then have another person mock interview you. They'll ask you those four questions for sure and ask you questions they've never heard. This allows your brain to link the questions that you had prepped with and find a way to answer the new question. For me, this was really amazing when I first started out. Allowed me to not get scared and prepare answers and see how I can change those answers a little bit to answer the question given. Step 5. This is, I would say, the easiest to understand but the hardest to do, is confidence through repetition. Each and every one of these steps will become quicker, faster, and you'll become more efficient by just repetition. That's going to be with finding mission, vision, and values of the company on a company page, crafting a 30-second me, depending on who you're talking to, mock interviewing. When I started out, each of these steps took me a long time. But the more I did it, it became from a lot to very little. And the main thing is you're going to get more confident when you go into interviews. If you're doing your first interview, you're not going to be that confident, right? If you do your 10,000th interview, you're going to be very confident. Obviously, those are polar extremes. And the more you side towards more is because volume beats a luck. The more you do, the more chances, the lower probability that you're going to be unlucky in every single one of them. That's the most valuable, I would say. And these are my 5 things how to prepare for interviews. If you would like to go more in depth on specific interviews, that could be consulting, case studies, that could be leak code questions for Python, for assessments, please write on the comment section so I'll make a video on that. And if you haven't, please look at the videos on how to get your first internship and how to succeed in online applications. Thank you so much. Bye.